Good morning dear students and warm welcome to 23rd online e-commerce class. In previous classes we already studied about 7 online payment systems. What are they? The electronic cash, electronic check, smart card, debit card, credit card, e-purse and internet banking. These are already discussed in the previous classes. In today's class, 2 more in online payment system is to be studied. So, we must discuss about the mobile banking and the e-wallets in today's session. First of all, what is the meaning of mobile banking? That is, in another word for the mobile banking, that is m-banking. So, mobile banking can be used for many of the same tasks which are used at the time of internet banking that you would complete at a bank or any branch of a particular bank on your home by using your devices like the desktop or the computer or the smartphones, etc. by using a smartphone or a tablet. So, the device is only changing, that is the smartphone or the tablets. For this we have bank's mobile website and there is a mobile banking app and SMS banking facilities. These are the three things to be required. What are they? Bank's mobile website, mobile banking app and the SMS banking facilities, that is the internet facilities. Similarly, what is the meaning of e-wallet? That is the second topic of today's class. E-wallets means it is a type of electronic card like the smart card or the debit card or the credit card which is used for the transactions made online payment through a computer or a smartphone. That is the meaning of e-wallets. There are 2 components which are used for the implementation of the e-wallets. What are the 2 components? That is the software and the informations. And there are 3 types of e-wallets: closed e-wallet, semi-closed e-wallet and the open e-wallet. So, these are the things to be discussed in this today's online class. So, we shall make a detailed discussion about these 2 topics, that is the mobile banking and the electronic wallets, that is e-wallets. So, first of all we discuss about the meaning and the procedure and then we must go through the merits and demerits of both the online payment systems, that is m-banking and the e-wallets. So, first of all we start from the mobile banking. So, what is the meaning of mobile banking is to be discussed first. It allows customers to perform many of the same activities as internet banking using a smartphone or the tablet instead of a desktop computer. So, what is the difference between internet banking and the mobile banking? Only the device is changing. While applying the internet banking, we can use different devices like the laptop or desktop computer or smartphone, etc. But in the case of m-banking or the mobile banking, we only use the smartphones or the tablets for these mobile banking facilities. Simply accessing the bank's website on a mobile device is not the only method of mobile banking. So, what are the versatilities or the characteristics or the features of mobile banking? So, the mobile banking includes logging into bank's mobile website and using a mobile banking app and must have a text message banking facilities. These are the 3 versatilities to be followed while using the mobile banking. What are they? Logging into the bank's mobile website, then using the mobile banking app and the third one, text message, that is SMS banking facilities. While more banks are making their sites easier to use on mobile devices, mobile banking is more commonly associated with accessing accounts through an app by the public in the earlier periods. Because in 1990 or onwards, 2000 onwards, many of the public or the society using the mobiles. So, the awareness of about the applications in the mobile, it is familiar to the society. Mobile banking can be used for many of the same tasks that you would complete at a bank branch or on your home desktop computer. That is an important advantage of the mobile banking system. So, these includes checking account balance and transferring money from one account holder to another, from one bank to another bank, finding an ATM, setting up alerts or viewing the account statement. So, these are the services provided by using the mobile banking. We can collect the account balances and transfer a fund from one bank to another, from one person to another easily. And we can find out the ATMs related to that particular bank and setting up the alerts. Likewise, different facilities to be availed by the customers or the account holders by using their mobile banking system. In addition to these basic features, mobile banking service may include direct deposit of checks using your device, camera, paying bills, sending money to another person, transferring credit card balances or even conducting investment transactions also. So, the account holders can deposit the money by using ATMs or any other mobile banking facilities. So, this is also an advantage of the mobile banking. Next topic we must discuss, that is what are the merits and demerits of mobile banking. In your text only the advantages is noted, but there is mobile banking demerits also. So, first of all we can discuss about the advantages of mobile banking. What are they? It is convenient and control of finances, and it is very much secure one. The mobile banking, we always go anywhere at any time, we have a charged mobile and it have internet facilities also. So, it is very much convenient. First advantage of the mobile banking system, that is it is very much convenient to customers. What is the reason we say that there is a merit of convenience? The reason is the account holders are able to do most of the banking activities through the online. They can take care of business without interrupting the rest of their life. That is an important advantage. Without the interruption of the daily functions or the daily activities of a person, we can do our banking functions also, banking operations also. They can handle many of their financial activities without having a visit to our branch during the open hours. Even in the holiday time or even the midnight also, we can make the transactions by using our mobile banking system. Then the next advantage or next merit is control of finance. We can control our balance in your account by using the maximum utilization in the proper way. That is an important advantage of the mobile banking system. So, it is easy and convenient, and at the same time consumers can keep control of their finance, their balance, their fund. It can be used in a proper way. So, the controlling can be done by the account holders for their secure or the protection or the allocation in the safer way. They can monitor their balances and always know where they are financially. And you can know about the sufficient balance, and the account holders can avoid the chances of bouncing or returning their payments. With account alerts, they can know if their account falls below a certain limit and instantly transfer money into that account and avoid the overdraft. If there is no fund that is below the amount, the bank or the financial institution must give an alert, you have this much of balance in your account. You can do only the transactions below that particular amount. That is an alert given by the financial institution. They can also deposit a check instantly, which is a big help when they need the cash. If you have a check which is received from any other person, it is to be deposited through the mobile banking after taking the photo of that particular check. They can even arrange recurring bill payments like the electricity bill or the telephone bill or any other bills, rent, etc. It is to be paid by using this mobile banking system. So, they do not even have to think about when a bill is due. When the account holder pay an instruction, written instruction or authorized instruction to the financial institution to pay the bill on this due date, then the bank will act on behalf of these account holders and it will be paid on the due date itself. So, this is the second merit of the mobile banking. And the third one, that is it is very much secure and give protection to the account holders. So, mobile banking is also a secure one. All reputable financial institutions use encryption. The encrypted data is used by the financial institution that safeguards and protects the privacy and identity and the financial information of the account holders. And some instructions even offer a security guarantee or guarantee to make use of the mobile banking truly worry free. So, the financial institution give a worry free action or worry free function to their account holders, giving the protection and security or the guarantee and the warranty of their informations like the privacy, identity and the financial information like the personal financial information details. It is to be secured and protected by the financial institution. So, this is about the merits of the mobile banking. What are they? Convenient, control of finances and the security. Similarly, it is attacked, the mobile banking is also attacked by the different demerits. But in your textbook it is not noted in your text. So, all students must note down these demerits which are discussed during this session in your textbook or your notebook. Okay. So, please note down the disadvantages of mobile banking. First of all, it is not available on all mobile phones. The first demerit is it is not available on all mobile phones. The account holder must have a smartphone and have the internet facilities to implement this mobile banking. So, the account holder must install a website or a mobile banking app to connect the bank's mobile website. Then the second demerit, that is it requires to install different applications. The account holders must install different types of applications and they have the knowledge to implement or apply these different applications in your mobiles. And the third demerit, that is it is available in high end mobile phones. I told that the mobile banking system is applicable in smartphones. So, the high end quality mobile phones is to be used by the account holders for getting an efficient and effective mobile banking application. So, it is a disadvantage of the mobile banking. And the next one, that is regular use leads to extra charge. If the mobile banking is regularly or repeatedly or recurringly the account holders is used, at that time the financial institution, either the national banks or the scheduled banks, can charge or they charge a huge amount as the banking charges. So, these will make a high cost to the account holders to make the online payment. Because of these reasons, some customers does not encourage the mobile banking. So, this is also a demerit of the mobile banking payment system. So, the regular use leads to the extra charge. And the last demerit of mobile banking, that is risk of getting fake messages. Sometimes the institutions, the financial institution like the different banks, give fake messages to the account holders. It will lead to misunderstanding and it will lose the confidence of the account holders related to the banking institutions. There is no communication, that is direct, there is a lack of direct communication with the employees of the bank and the account holders. It will lead to a misused or malpractice or misguided information which is collected by the third parties. So, there is a chance to get a fake message from different institution which is not by that particular financial institution, by the fake parties or the third parties, the hackers or the fraud persons will give an information or give a message, and understanding the customers, it is sent by the financial institution, but actually it is not by the particular financial institution, but is to be misguided to the give confidence to the account holders. It is done by the financial institution. So, this is an important drawback of the mobile banking. So, I summarize about the mobile banking system. I first of all discuss about what is the meaning of the mobile banking or what are the procedures involved in the mobile banking. So, it is only the difference between the internet banking and the mobile banking, that is only the device is changing. For the mobile banking, we only apply the smartphone like the high end devices. And the second one, there is the application. We must have a bank's website, and second one, we must install different apps, and there must be a SMS facility. These are the three characters to be implemented for three facilities to be applied by the account holders. And we discussed the different merits and demerits of the mobile banking, that is it is convenient and secure and control of finances. These are the merits, and the demerits, we must apply different methods or like the different applications, and we must have a high end mobile phones and easy or recurring nature of the transaction. It will make a high cost which is charged by the financial institution. These are the different demerits of the mobile banking. And second topic of today's class, that is the e-wallets. What is the meaning of e-wallets? It is an electronic card like the smart card or the credit card or the debit card. So, a e-wallet is also an electronic card which is used for transactions made online through a computer or a smartphone. So, e-wallet is an electronic card which is the transaction, that is the online payment transactions is made through the online or by using the internet facilities through a computer or a smartphone. So, the utility or the facilities which will get by the account holders or the persons by using the smartphone, that is like the smart card or the debit card. The same facilities which are received or utilized by the smart card and the debit card is get from these e-wallets also. And e-wallets needs to be linked with the individual's bank account to make the payment. For making the payment, the e-wallet holders or the card holders must link their card with the individual's bank account. That is the first procedure. Then e-wallet is a type of prepaid account, so we must advance the fund to their individual's bank account. That fund is to be used and the money is stored in their chip or the electronic card and make the future online transaction. For this purpose, we can use the fund which is stored in your card. So, e-wallet is a type of prepaid account in which a user can store his money which is given in advance for any future online transactions. So, an e-wallet is protected with a password. The account holder or the e-wallet holder can protect your financial information by giving a particular password. With the help of the e-wallet, one can make payments for the groceries, online purchases and flight tickets among others. So, most popularly for the domestic purpose, the public or the society use this e-wallet. So, e-wallet has mainly two components. What are they? Software and the information. For the using the e-wallets, we must use two components, name, software and information. First component, that is software component, it stores the personal information and provides security and encryption of the data. So, in the component of the softwares, that means software component stores all the details related to the personal financial information, the name, account of the bank, name of the bank, branch and the amount, the sufficient amount which is deposited by the account holder is to be stored, and likewise gives the provide the security or the protection to the account holder about the data which are embedded in the particular card, and the data which are stored in an encryption way. So, these are the functions which are done by the software component. What are they? They collect and stores the financial information related to the particular person who hold an e-wallet. And second one, they will provide security and protection for their encrypted data. All the data which are stored in the encryption way, these are the functions made in the software component. And second component of the e-wallet, that is the information component. What are the functions made by the information component? It is a database. The information component is a database of details provided by the user, which includes their name, shipping address, payment method, amount to be paid by the account holder and the credit and debit card details, etc., to be protected or maintained by the information component. So, the function of the information component, that is to make or maintain the database like the functions of a server. They will include all the details like the name of the account holder, shipping details, that is the name or the address of the shipping, and delivering details, that is tracking, payment methods, amount to be paid, and all the details which are included in the debit card or the credit card, it is to be included and maintained by the information component. So, these are the two components of the e-wallet. What are they? Software and the information. So, the software, they will store all the information, and the information component that will maintain the data, that is the encrypted data. For setting up an e-wallet account, the user needs to install a particular or a separate software on their device. Either it will be a desktop computer or the laptop, or even high-end the mobile phone also, and enter the relevant information required for the application. It is to be installed in your software. After shopping online, the e-wallet automatically fills in the user's information on the payment form. That is done by the e-wallets. That is the software component. To activate the e-wallet, the user needs to enter his password. That is all the data included in the e-wallet, it is to be protected by giving a password. If it is opened for opening the data, we must enter the password. Once the online payment is made, the consumer is not required to fill the order forms on any other website, as the information gets stored in the database and is updated automatically by the information component, because the information component is maintaining the encrypted data. So, there is not required by the e-wallet holders to repeatedly give the information required for the online payment. It is automatically done by the e-wallet information component. So, this is the important merit also. So, in this case there are three types of e-wallets. In the introduction time, I already told that there are three different types of e-wallets: closed e-wallet, semi-closed e-wallet and open e-wallet. So, the three types of e-wallets which is given by the instruction of the Reserve Bank, which is controlled by the central government. According to the rules of the Reserve Bank, there are three different e-wallets: closed e-wallet and semi-closed e-wallet and open e-wallet. So, first of all, we must discuss what is the meaning of closed mobile e-wallet. So, closed mobile e-wallet does not provide service like the redemption or the cash withdrawal. That is an important difference. In the case of closed mobile wallets and the semi-closed e-wallets, the mobile wallet does not provide the facility to redemption and the cash withdrawal. It can only be used for goods or services for the specific company only. That is an important one to be underlined by all students. It can be only used for the goods or service for that specific company only. That is the identification factor of the closed mobile wallet. Online merchants make MyTrip, Jabong, etc. are some of the examples of closed mobile wallets. In case of any cancellation or to return product of your registered MakeMyTrip or Jabong accounts credited while using the tour facilities or transportation or traveling, with the refund amount, this can all be used with that merchant itself. That is an important or the identification of difference between closed mobile and the semi-closed and open mobile system. So, what is the identification factors? First of all, it does not use or it does not provide the facilities like redemption or the cash withdrawal, first one. Second one, it is used only for the specified companies using the goods or service transfer, but it is limited to a specified company like the tour facilities like the MakeMyTrip or Jabong, and it is used for the refund facilities or for getting a package from these particular specified company only. And the second type of the e-wallet, that is semi-closed e-wallet. As same in the case of closed mobile wallet, we cannot or the semi-closed wallet does not provide the redemption or cash withdrawal facilities. But the difference between a closed mobile wallet and semi-closed mobile wallet, that is we can use it is for a particular listed companies. In the case of closed mobile banking, it is only used for the specific company. The difference between closed mobile wallet and semi-closed mobile wallet, that is the semi-closed mobile is used for transferring or purchasing goods or services with a listed merchants. We have provide or make transaction with the listed merchants which are included while taking the e-wallets. So, but it allows users to purchase goods and services with listed merchants who have a contract with the wallet company to receive payment. So, at the time of getting or acquiring the wallet, e-wallet, we must give a listed merchants or a repeating purchasing retailers or the wholesalers or the merchants name to be given to the e-wallet company. So, the e-wallet company give provision or giving service to that particular merchants only. So, what are the merchants which are regularly given by the e-wallet holders, that is Paytm, PayUmoney, MobiKwik, Oxygen, etc. are the examples of semi-closed e-wallets. Most popularly e-wallet holders use for the payment like the Paytm, PayUmoney, MobiKwik, etc. These are the listed companies which are most popularly used by the e-wallet holders. Moreover, they are most downloaded and trending the mobile wallets in India. Okay. Then the third type of e-wallet, that is the open wallets. In the case of open wallets, that allow the redemption and the withdrawal. That is an important difference between the closed e-wallet and the semi-closed e-wallet and the open wallet. So, the identification factor or the feature of the open wallet, that is we can provide the service like the redemption and the cash withdrawal. So, Vodafone powered M-Pesa wallets is the perfect example for the open wallet. So, the main identification factor or the character, that is open wallets is used for the redemption and the withdrawal as the open wallet system. So, this is about the different types of e-wallets. It is given by the or authorized by the Reserve Bank. There are 3 different e-wallets which is authorized by the Reserve Bank. What are they? Open mobile wallets, semi-closed wallets and the closed mobile wallets. Only the difference is, in the case of closed mobile wallet, we can make transaction with the specific company only. Second case, the semi-closed wallet, we can use different listed merchants make a transaction of the purchase of goods and service. In the case of open wallets, we can make the service of the redemption and the withdrawal of cash. Then in the same way, we already discussed the above all facilities like the 7 facilities in the previous class, and the 8th portion, 8th online system is already discussed in today's session. In these 8 online payment which is attacked by the merits and demerits. Similarly, in this e-wallet also have different types of merits and demerits, but in your textbook it is not noted, but we must study the merits and demerits of e-wallets. So, all students must note in your notebook or in the textbook the different merits and demerits of e-wallet also. So, first of all, we can discuss about the merits of e-wallets. In the same way, it is convenient because the e-wallet application is used by using our devices like the computer or the smartphones, and it is a plastic card like the debit card or the credit card or the smart card. So, it is convenient to handle by the account holders, that is a good merit. Next one, acceptability. This e-wallet is acceptable by the grocery shops, small retailers, small shopping centers, traveling agents, or for getting a small payment, online payments, e-commerce transactions, etc. So, acceptability of the merchant is more in the case of e-wallets while taking small purchase. For this, the e-wallet holders can use their e-wallet for the domestic purpose purchases like small transactions. Third merit, that is access to other cards also. By using the e-wallets, we can withdraw or we can use the smart card and the debit card, because the details related to the smart card or credit card or debit card, it is also included in the e-wallets also. So, the information component or the software component can enter into the details which are encrypted or embedded or embossed in the smart card or the credit card or the debit card. So, we can access, that is an additional merit of the e-wallet. The e-wallet data can access to the information which are embedded in the other cards like the smart card or the debit card. And the fourth one, likewise, the other online payment system, it have a secured one. The e-wallet company, issuing company, must give protection and security to the data which are encrypted and stored in their electronic card. So, the e-wallets get the confidence to use these e-wallet cards. Why? What is the reason? The e-wallet company must give information, give protection or the security to the financial information which are included in the e-wallet. So, the users will get the security and protection from the e-wallet company. And the last merit of the e-wallet, that is used by the retailers and the online stores. So, the small grocery shops or the shopping malls can implement the different apps to accept the e-wallet cards of the customers. So, the e-commerce transaction or the purchasing transaction or the selling transaction of the merchants and the customers is to be promoted or encouraged by the merchants and the customers by using these e-wallets. They make many online transaction by using the e-wallets. So, they make the volume of the selling and the buying activity is to be encouraged by using the e-wallets, because most popular, most of the account holders use for this for the domestic purchase, small volume of transaction. Small volume of the value of the transaction is used by the e-wallet holders. So, these are the merits of e-wallets. What are they? Convenient, acceptability, access to other cards also, and give protection and security, and used by the retailers and the online stores. So, these are the merits. And what are the demerits of the e-wallets? Just note down by the all students. First of all, it is not available worldwide. It is most popular in the small retailers, that is local retailers or the local online stores. It is not available in the worldwide areas. So, in the worldwide areas, transactions is discouraged by the e-wallet holders. This is a drawback. And second demerit, that is, it is still required you to carry something. That is, it is still required you to carry something. That is, we must carry some devices like the electronic card and or the devices like the laptop or the computer or the high edge mobile phones, etc. It is to be carried. So, it is an inconvenience to the e-wallet holders. And third disadvantage or the demerit of this, that is, it requires your device to have a charge. That means a battery charge. The device which is used for this e-wallet, it is to be charged or powered. One, and the internet facility is to be charged by the account holders. So, the device is charged and the internet is also to be charged for using the e-wallets. That is also an important demerit of e-wallets. The next one, that is, it does not eliminate your security risk. The e-wallet company gives protection and security to the e-wallet holders, but the security or the protection given by the e-wallet company is in a low rate. So, there is a chance to get there is a chance, a risk in the security and the protection which is given by the e-wallet company, because the electronic card is to be carried by the holders. Sometimes there is a chance to theft or loss of this e-wallet, and the password it is to be hijacked or hacked by the technically advanced fraud people. They can easily enter this e-wallet password and use the sufficient fund or the balance fund which is stored in the e-wallet card. So, the protection is very much low in the case of e-wallet card. And the last demerit, that is, it may charge you more to process payments. The e-wallet company will charge a low amount, or in the recurring nature it will the e-wallet company will charge a high rate for these online transactions. So, the account holders must pay an additional cost or bear an additional cost for using the e-wallet cards. So, this is also a demerit of the e-wallets. So, what are the demerits of e-wallets? I think all students noted the merits and demerits of e-wallets, which is not included in your textbook. I again explain the demerits. It is not available worldwide. It is still required you to carry something. It requires your device to have a charge. It does not eliminate your security risk. It may charge you more to process the payments. Okay. So, these are the demerits of e-wallet. I summarize this e-wallet topic. We already discussed what is the meaning of e-wallet and what are the procedures and what are the merits and demerits of e-wallets. E-wallet is an electronic card which is used or which will get all the services provided by the smart card and the debit card. And the e-wallets is used or issued by the e-wallet company. E-wallets is, there are two softwares is included in the e-wallet. What are they? The software and the information components included in the e-wallets. And there are three types of e-wallets which is divided according to the rules and regulations of the Reserve Bank: closed e-wallet, semi-closed e-wallet and open e-wallet. And there must be merits and demerits. So, I think all students know about the today's session, that means mobile banking and the e-wallets. I also wind up this class by summarizing the online payment system which are discussed in, I think, in 4 classes. 9 online payment systems is discussed. What are they? Electronic cash, electronic check, smart card, credit card, debit card, e-purse, internet banking, mobile banking, and the last one, that is the e-wallets. These are the 9 online payment system is discussed in detail. So, you must study well, because there is a chance to get an answer, get a question in your university examination to give an explanation about the different electronic online payment system. So, this is an important topic. So, I take 4 sessions for discussing about this online payment system. So, give importance to study this for writing an essay about the online payment system. I think all students can follow my class, and I sign out from the online payment system. Okay, thank you.